Good morning, Coffee with Karen. How's it going today? So this mug is really for me because our little Lucy is sick. It's kind of sad. Now she's 18, you guys. So, it's in my book it's only a matter of time, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, we put our other one down in July, so I'm not saying we're putting her down yet, but so I woke up and she was laying in the corner and like looking up at me like crying, meowing. And but she wasn't getting up. So I'm like just looking at her. I'm like, okay, something's not right. So anyways, I went down to her and she had diarrhea all over her tail. Welcome to Karen. Ask the spirit guides. Oh my gosh. If you're new here, you would be like, what is going on here? But anyways, this is Coffee with Karen, and this is again for me to remain calm. Although I am going to be reading you a letter that I received from the White House yesterday. So I don't know. You'll have to, of course I'm reading into it, so I'm going to be curious to see what you think. But I'm like, I'm not on the couch, which is where I'm normally at for coffee in the morning because there's little drops of poop like all over the place. And I can't deal with it at the moment. So she's at the emergency with my husband. So I'm waiting to hear about that. I don't know. I'll have to see what happens. We'll get an x-ray. I wouldn't be surprised if she has some kind of, I mean, I hope it's just, I hope it's just, she just has she's just constipated and it just got blocked and she can't get it out because she was straining the whole time. Like I got her up and then she was just kept straining. Um, and so I'm hoping that that's just all it is and she just needs an enema and that'll be it. But we'll get an x-ray. And if she's got any kind of cancer, I don't put animals through that kind of stuff. So, and I would not give chemo. It's just my choice. Everybody does their different stuff. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know if I'll see her again. The other thing to know about me is I don't put animals down myself. Now, we've had 4 and I've gone to 1. And he was the one I was least connected to. I don't know why. I just felt like I had to be there for him. But the other 3, I'm like, first, my first one in Clio, which was we put down in July, I just can't go. And I know that probably like that would be horrifying for a lot of people. Oh, hang on one second. You're watching the drama unfold right before your very eyes. So I just got a text about her medication. Jim was asking me about her medication. So she has thyroid disease also. So she's had it for like 4 years. And I don't like cats typically, I don't know if that has anything to do with her constipation though. So we'll see. Poor little baby. I started crying and Jim's like, don't don't go there. Don't go there. So I'm trying to remain calm. So anyways, I know it might be appalling to some of you to think that you don't. I think that's it. It's just about authentically being ourselves and not feeling like, I'm sorry, I'm looking down at you today, but this is the position that I'm in. I could put a pillow. We could look like that. Yeah, I think it's just about each being our authentic self about what, not doing what is acceptable or right. I mean, obviously when it comes to being mean and, morality and, following the law, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, how you want to live your life and your values and what you want to expose yourself to and all that kind of stuff. And it's never felt right for me to be there. Jim has always been there. And I know like when he leaves, I'm like, you'll take good care of them. You'll hold them until, hold them for a while, So he goes and he takes them because he knows it's so hard for me. So it's very, very sweet that he does that. So what's really weird is he wasn't feeling well last night. He wasn't feeling good last night. So he called in sick, which he hardly ever does. Ever. And he was feeling okay. I didn't even realize he was calling in sick because he normally goes to work at like 1:30 or whatever. But he was home this morning. And so how weird is that? Because he's home this morning and Lucy had to go to the emergency. So that, I mean, obviously I would have taken her, but there was a reason why he wasn't feeling well. He said he was feeling okay this morning, but he's probably coming down with what I'm coming down with. Oh boy. So, anywho, okay, let's read this letter that I got. If you've written to the White House, which I did like three weeks ago, maybe, right after the election, you'll probably be getting a response. You should be getting a response. So I have a feeling, we all got the same thing, which is fine. Okay. But, I was reading this and I'm like, I don't know. Should I, it's like I want to read into it. So let's just be careful, but it's kind of fun anyways to read into it. Okay. So this is what it says. Dear Karen, thank you for writing to me. I wrote literally to Joe Biden, so he signed it, Joe Biden. Thank you for writing to me. It has been the honor of my life to serve as your president. Oh. You would never get something like that from 45. Even just that alone makes me want to cry right now. I have been blessed with the love and support. Okay, now I am going to cry. Obviously, because of Lucy, but well, also, I mean, it's just so sweet. I didn't even realize, I read it really fast. I didn't even realize he was he personalized it. Thanks for writing to me. It's kind of cool. I'm having a morning. I have been blessed with the love and support of the American people, and I am grateful. Oh boy, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Oh my gosh, this is the second time I've cried on film. I am grateful to know that I earned yours. One thing to know about me, when I start crying, I really can't stop. So that's, I had to do this in the last one video I was doing this in. I might have to pause for a second. We have come so far since my inauguration. Yikes. I had to pause. Oh my goodness. Again, every once in a while I'll say, I don't know if I'll post this, but we'll just keep going and see. I think I'm upset. One, because obviously it's an emotional morning. But I think this is making me upset today because, like 40, I don't know, people choosing 45 over somebody. I mean, is he perfect? No. Has he done stuff he probably shouldn't have done? I don't know. But there's just no comparison. Okay, let's see if I can get through this. We have come so far since my inauguration. Today we have the strongest economy in the world. We have restored our democratic alliances, and the American people are safer because of it. We are rebuilding our nation, bringing manufacturing back, and leading the world in science and innovation. It's weird because when I'm reading this, all I can think about is, how 45, it just doesn't seem like he's that interested in that. keeping the American people safe. Wow, this is really a downer today. Holy schmoly. My videos are not normally like this, so if you're finding me for the first time, please go watch something else and see if you'd like to stay on the channel, because I'd hate to lose you because of this video. But trying to keep it real. More Americans have health care today than ever before. That's amazing. And I was proud to sign the most significant climate law in history. America remains the most powerful idea that we are all created equal and deserve to be treated equally throughout our lives. That idea is stronger than any of us, and while we've never fully lived up to it, we've never walked away from it either. I mean, how beautiful is that? I know that we will not walk away from it now. Holy crap. Are you crying? Are you crying? I wonder if this didn't happen to Lucy, if I'd be crying right now. But again, once it starts, it's like, holy shit, I can't stop it. I believe our country is at an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America, and there is nothing beyond our capacity that we do it together. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. Thank you, and God bless you. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. So that's kind of interesting. So, okay, dry the tears. Get rid of the tears. Now let's talk, conspiracy. No, we don't do conspiracy here. But kind of fun to look at this and say, first of all, he says, I know that we will not walk away from it now. That idea is stronger than any one of us. And while we've never fully lived up to it, which is beautiful because he's owning the fact that America has not always and isn't now treating everybody equal. And we know as a core, that's, I think, what's so hard about 45 and everybody who voted for him. Who, by the way, I have not talked to anybody who has yet. Not yet. I want to read this part again because I think it's very significant. America remains the most powerful idea that we are all created equal and deserve to be treated equally throughout our lives. That's the hard thing. I think that's why so many people are upset about 45. So that's the idea. That idea is stronger than any one of us, and while we've never fully lived up to it, so he's owning that. I love that. We've never walked away from it either. I know that we will not walk away from it now. So what does that say to you? I believe our country is at an inflection point, one of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. The decisions we make now. So what are those decisions? We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America, and there is nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. Thank you, and God bless. Keep the faith. I think I'm going to frame this. I just think it's beautiful. I've never felt this way about a president. And I didn't even feel this way before. I felt he was doing a very good job. And I felt he was being treated unfairly by all the all the fake news and all the fake news who made up that term, by the way. You know that term was made up by 45 in 2016. And then, it's so obvious. It's so bizarre. And I think this is a very narcissistic trait, but it's so bizarre that everything he says is actually what he's doing. It's just so bizarre. And how, like, half the population didn't see that is very bizarre to me. But it's because of what they're watching and they're just being lied to. Good. My gosh, I'm burping, I'm crying, I'm talking about diarrhea this morning. I'm coughing. Wow. Keep the faith, people. Keep the faith, right? It's interesting. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Does that say anything to you? Like, do you kind of feel like there's a sneaky hidden message in there? Are there any sneaky hidden messages in there? It's just so well written. I swear I'm going to print it off and frame it. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I wish he was like 10 years younger. But I really believe things happen for a reason and in the time that they're meant to happen. And he obviously he became the president when he needed to become the president. And it's for this exact moment. So we'll see. There are quite a few mediums. I don't really use the word psychic. I don't know why. It reminds me of like what you would find at a carnival. So it doesn't feel like a real thing, a psychic. I mean, I know it is, but anyways, there's a number of mediums that are saying, so today's December 5th. There's a number of mediums that are saying something's coming this week, so I don't know. We'll see. We could ask the SGs, I suppose, but I really am trying to stay bigger picture with the SGs for our benefit. I just did a video last night. So I have 2 videos on just spirit guides. So if you've missed those, please check them out. I'll post them here at the end of this video. The first one was, do all human beings have spirit guides? Which I thought was kind of a cool conversation. So I was asking just like all these questions about, a soul contract, spirit guides, like how many do we have, all that kind of stuff. And then in that video, a lot of people asked questions based on that. So I just did a video last night and I titled this one because this was one of the questions. So I thought it was interesting. So I used it as the title. But our spirit guides relatives that have passed on. And then I said, and other answers to your questions. So, because that was one question. So I used that as the title. So we'll see how well. It's 5th out of 10. So those are the kind of things I like to do on this channel, is talk about those spirit guide stuff. But I'm happy to answer these kind of questions. I think there's just enough people doing that. And I want to keep this as kind of our deep breath space to come back to and not be bombarded with specifics about what's going on in the current the world, but just kind of keep it big picture. So I guess this is for all of us. Y'all need to keep calm. Thanks for letting me blubber this morning. Obviously, I didn't, obviously I blubbered a little bit about Lucy, and that started it. But that really, that's really, that letter was something else. Just the fact that he signed it to me. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure like everybody's getting this, but it's so sweet that he literally said, "Thank you for writing to me." It's like he didn't say thank you for writing. He just said thank you for writing to me. Like, I really feel like I bet you any money he wrote this. I bet you any money he wrote this and it has the seal of the White House on it. I bet you he wrote it and this is the standard email that's going out because I'm sure he got a lot of these and he wrote it, which is amazing. It has been the honor of my life to serve as your president. So sweet. Okay, here I go again. Oh my gosh! It's just so sweet. I really don't think I'm crying over Lucy. I think I'm really crying over that. I don't know. It's such an emotional time, isn't it? I think it's, um, didn't somebody say it's Mercury retrograde, which I don't know a lot about, but I understand that it's a time for high emotions. Um, so we've got that going on. We got Lee Harris Energies posted yesterday. If I could find it, I'd read it to you. But how things are moving so fast right now, which is why a lot of times what people talk about, for instance, if the SGs answer a question, things are moving so fast right now that whenever or if I do a card reading and that's the reading we get, if I do like current and near future, the near future could be like literally 5 minutes after I do it because it's going so fast, which really is hard for our nervous systems to keep up with. So if you're feeling like this or I haven't been feeling like this because I've been staying away from this stuff and just enjoying being in this community and watching, like I have Holiday Baking Championship up on the screen right now because I was going to watch that first and chill out a little bit before I have to deal with all that. There's like little drops of poop all over the place, all over. I'm not going to give you a tour. Even on like the tables. So she was like walking around. She wasn't feeling good. So she's walking around. So even on our tables, there's like, and then when cats get constipated, they throw up too. So there's throw up too. Oh my God. So this is what I have to look forward to. You know what else is weird is we usually have just like a handheld bot like carpet cleaner, which we've been using for years and years and years. And we just bought a full, like a big one to just clean the carpets. Normally we would call somebody in to clean the carpet once a year. And I was like, let's just buy one so we can just do it ourselves. And so we just bought that. Well, we need it now. And I mean, I've never replaced this carpet. It's been like 20 years. We moved in here in 2001. We have very light carpet, okay? And there's carpet where there shouldn't be carpet, but in most people's homes, they wouldn't do this, but we actually like carpet. So we're going to do carpet again. But I've always said I can't do carpet until the cats pass away. And this is why, because now there's poop all over the place. Poop. So, yeah, that was the first thing my husband said when he was leaving the house. He goes, I guess I'll be cleaning the carpet today. Oh my God. And that we did have I mentioned our new couch. There's a little tiny drop on the new couch. No big deal. One little tiny drop of poop. Okay, I do like potty humor. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Poor girl. Poor girl. She's never had issues. She has thyroid disease, but we caught that as like a regular checkup. But she's never had any issues. Like Cleo, my other cat, he was a Himalayan, gorgeous white cat, sweetest thing in the world. I don't know if all Himalayans are like that, but he is the unbelievable cat. I don't know if I've ever showed a picture of him, but if I can find one. I'm sorry. All this hacking, and you're probably like, this is unbelievable, Karen, that you would sit here on film. I thought my cold was gone, but it's so cold outside. I think I'm adjusting to that. I'm not adjusted to it. Anyways, he had so many problems. This is just one he's laying down. So he was a white Himalayan, sweetest cat in the world. I mean, he's the kind of cat. I saw a TikTok on YouTube. A TikTok on YouTube is a short on YouTube from TikTok. And this guy was holding his cat. It was, my goodness, I might have to pause. Hang on a second. So he was holding his cat, and he was holding him upside down, and the cat was just like, you can't, if you're a cat owner, you know you can't do that with most cats. This cat, you could. He was so chill. The tornado siren would be going off and Lucy would be running and he'd be laying there like, huh? What is that? He didn't care. We had a tornado siren once, and so we went down in the basement, and I would take him, and we'd have to leave Lucy up here because we couldn't get her because she would be like under the sink, but it was actually, she was in the middle bathroom under the sink. So it was like the safest place she could be. And so we'd take him down because I could just carry him over my shoulder. And I literally walked around with a neighbor, just walked around our basement garage because it's underground. So it's really, really safe down there. And I walked around with him on my shoulder. That's how he was. He was just freaking amazing. So, but because he's a Himalayans, I'm just chatting now, just about whatever. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning because I'm just, you know, it feels better to be talking than to be waiting for news about Lucy, I guess. Um, so I had a little blanket over him. But because he's a Himalayan, now Himalayans, if you don't know, they have that little smushed face. Here, I'll do a close up, which causes them to get muck in their eyes. Look at him. He's such a sweet boy. He was so sweet. And Himalayans are half Persian, which are the really smushed cats, and half Siamese, which is bizarre. But so Persians are like my understanding is one of the like most chill cats ever, like almost boring, too boring, like just chill, which is why he's so chill. But Siamese are like bounce off the wall cats. I had a woman, I had a friend, a woman. I had a friend who had two Siamese, and she said they literally did bounce off the walls. Like they just had so much energy. So they put those two cats together because it was the calm and the hyper and made the Himalayan. So the problem with the Himalayans, well, the biggest problem is the Persians. So I had a vet once who said that he didn't think people should breed Persians because they're so smushed up that they have like horrible dental because just the way the draining works. Well, the Himalayans do too, at least he did. So he had a horrible time with dental. I mean, half his teeth were pulled by the time he passed. So, but he was 18 too. So he stuck around for a long time. I just decided to put him out of his misery. I could have kept him around longer, but oh, our animal. Oh, here's a sweet one. Our animals. Isn't he sweet? He was so cute. And his hair was much longer, but we would cut it in the summer. You could lay him down. That's what we'd lay him down on a towel at height here where I could reach. And then I took a comb and a pair of scissors and I just cut over, I always put my hand between his skin or, not the comb or my hand mostly because his hair was so long. But I would put my hand between his skin and the knife, or the knife, the scissors, to make sure that, I obviously, if I ever cut his skin, I would have been horrified. Because if you took him to get trimmed, my friend did this once. She took her cat to the vet to get a trim, or to the, whoever does that, trimmers or whatever, what are they called? You don't have to put it in the chat, but you know what I mean. And the groomers, that's what they're called. So she took him to the groomers, and this woman said he'll get a line cut. So she's like, oh, I don't know what a line cut is. But she's like, okay, fine, just trim the hair, because it was a long-haired cat. And she got this cat back, and he was completely bald except for his head, and he had like little muffs. Lion cut is what, she didn't hear it correctly. A lion cut. So he had like a head, and he was completely bald to his skin, and she was so horrified. So I could never take him because I thought, no way. So we just trimmed his hair up. And it was just better because he would, obviously cats shed in the spring. And then it would be, hard for him to get all that fur up. So, yeah, but he let us do it. I mean, yeah, if Lucy had long hair, there's no way I could cut her hair, So, all right, well, thanks for letting me just chit chat for a minute as I calm down after the Joe Biden letter. Joe Biden. So how do you guys feel about that Joe Biden letter? Would it make you as sad? Does it say anything to you? Is there anything? I don't know. I hope he, I don't know. I don't know what I hope. I hope whatever happens is really the bigger picture. Whatever happens is the best for everybody in the world, is what I hope that happens. And in the timing it has to happen. Let's just put it that way. So whatever happens in the timing that it happens, I hope. So if 45 ends up being inaugurated, then I'm going to trust that was in the best interest of the world in the timing of it. So that, because I really do believe that the only way we're going to be calm about any changes that might take place, if 45 cheated or whatever, what we know he did. I mean, it's just so obvious. And I'm not, I don't, again, they claim that, they claimed cheating and all that kind of stuff because that's what they do. So that's, now they've made it hard for the Dems to do anything about it because we don't want to be seen that way. But that's exactly what they were doing, that they set that up that way. So it's, it's genius. I mean, it's so obvious, but that's how the only way they could win, basically. That is the only way that Republicans can win. It really is. And I'm sorry if you're a Republican on here, but it is the only way that they can win. Because the majority of human beings do not want religion to be a part of government. And the Republicans do. They, at least these current people. And so they want it to be Christian. And it's like, hello, not everybody's Christian. Like, that's not fair. Like, that makes no sense. That's, so if you're on here and you're listening to this and you're a Christian and you like what they're doing, it's not appropriate. It's just not appropriate because government is not about religion. It just isn't. If it was, then that would be ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you gotta use your common sense. It doesn't make any sense. So to have religion dictate your policies is not appropriate because your religion is not the only religion or faith or beliefs. That's really what it's about, at least right now in my mind. So I'm gonna, my hope and what I'm waiting for, because I just trust this. What is this little piece of hair sticking out here? Because I just trust it now more than ever. I didn't trust it like 4 weeks ago, but I trust it now more than ever because I'm seeing the big picture. Is that in order for us to move through this time in the most calm and peaceful manner, that's not going to be harmful for a whole bunch of people, is for them to work this out. The timing needs to be, it's just the timing. We just have to trust the timing, you know? And in the meantime, we're just going to take care of ourselves. That's what we're doing. We're watching Holiday Baking Championship. I've seen comments after comments of people picking up their hobbies again and cleaning their houses and getting organized, however organized feels to you, and feeling good, just staying in the moment. We're really supposed to be staying in the moment. Oh yeah, I was bringing up Lee Harris energy. I'm sorry, I skipped over that. Now I remember I was talking about it, and now it was about his most recent post. If you want to go look at his most recent post. Oh, that's right. He was talking about how fast time is moving. And he did say, like, because it's moving so fast, the whole point is to live in the moment right now. Don't live in like fear or hoping something's coming tomorrow. Live in today and just enjoy today. I think that's why I'm enjoying just like having these conversations. Like, I just feel like I can just sit here and have this conversation with whoever wants to have it with me. And I feel so chill just to, kind of stream of consciousness. Because it just feels very relaxing to me to like be here in this moment. Because we don't know, we've never been able to, know what's going on in the future. And because everything's changing so fast, So I think that's a huge lesson for all of us, is just living in the moment. It actually feels really good, doesn't it? If you can stay there. And I think when I watch things that are talking about 45 and his cabinet and all that kind of stuff, it pulls you out of the moment, is really what's happening. It pulls me out of the moment, which then creates discomfort. And when you get pulled out of the moment, you're always going to feel discomfort, because you're either looking back or you're looking forward if you're not in the moment. And back and forward, that's not your reality. Your reality is in the moment. So back and forward feels uncomfortable because it's not actually anything. It's just nothing. It's gone. And it's not here yet. So you're in the moment is the only place, unless you're being hurt in the moment, or you don't feel good, or, you're sick, whatever, you know what I mean? But even that, doesn't feel as bad as what it could feel if you're projecting bad things for the future. You know what I mean? So I think this is a really huge lesson in living in the here and now. So a book I read quite a long time ago, The Power of Now. Eckhart Tolle, I think, is the author. The Power of Now. Great book. I'll put it in the description below if you want to. I'll put it with an affiliate link if you want to get it, and it just helps support the channel a little bit. Great book. One of the books that changed, as I moved on in life. It's a book that changed my life at that time. It was a new concept, but I think we're really understanding it right now. The power of now. And I think that's what's happening, is and it's good. Because we should only live in the now. When we pass over and cross over the veil or die I'm not supposed to say that word on YouTube, am I? We'll see what happens. I don't know what happens. I've just keep hearing people say unalive. So, but when things like that happen, when we cross over, all we have is, then we just live in the moment. I think we understand how powerful we are once we pass on, that we understand how powerful our thinking is, that we just live in the moment because We know we can create anything we want. So we just, I just think we understand that better. And as humans, we don't quite understand it as much at all. It takes a long time. So, all right, long coffee with Karen. I don't have any updates from Jim yet, so I'll have to ask him what's going on. What's going on? She's probably back there, which is good, getting treated. So we'll see. So I'm so thankful to have an emergency vet. Actually, all my cats have gone to this emergency vet. It's not far. It's only like 5 minutes from here. I'm so thankful for them. I mean, how amazing. 24 hours. I mean, they're more expensive, and I could have, this was like 7:30 when I got up, and I could have called our regular vet, but the likelihood of her having time to see him or see her would have been unlikely. So I was just like, I mean, it's more expensive, obviously, but what a great service to have. I mean, I'd like to pay for that. I mean, it is more expensive, but this is where we honor people like what they're providing to the community, if you can afford it. I know it's very hard. That's the one thing people don't understand, like especially younger people, when they get pets, they don't understand how expensive it is. I didn't. You get a kitten and you're like, oh, a kitten, You don't understand later on as they get older, especially how expensive it can be. So, and you have to be willing to, because they become a family member. My nephew had a puppy. He has a pup. Well, he's not a puppy anymore, but his dog was a puppy and he broke his leg. I think he broke his leg or dislocated or something. And the surgery cost like $5,000. Like my nephew was in his upper 20s. That's a lot of money, but he got it fixed. He saved some money, got it fixed. But you got to, especially with dogs too. I mean, you have to be prepared for that kind of stuff, right? When you get a pet. But if you look at your pets as as part of your family, which they completely are. I'm reading more and more. I did just get a card deck too, you guys, on spirit animals. So we'll do that at some point. I got so many card decks. I'm so excited to use them. I'm so excited to use them in one way or another on the channel and then in the spirit circle. So yeah, if you're still here, oh my gosh, it's 42 minutes. I can't even imagine there's going to be like a couple people, which I love you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. But if you can give me a thumbs up on the video, if you haven't subscribed, please do. But anyway, so yeah, and don't forget to check out the Spirit Circle. Come on in there. We're doing other stuff in there too. So anyways, I've got so many fun ideas coming up. It's going to be cool. So, oh my gosh, I just burped. I'm sorry. Okay, I better go. I'm just like you're holding space for me actually. It's kind of nice. It feels very supportive. Just isn't it funny how this feels supportive to me? Like now I'm not even reading your comments or anything like that, and it's just holding space. Knowing that you're there holding space with me is just it's really comforting. So for me it is. Like other people might be like horrified crying on camera and stuff, right? Which is totally fine. Everybody's different, aren't we? I think I'm hesitating because I have to go deal with that situation. Oh, it's okay. It's better than what Lucy's going through, poor girl. All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.